Hey everybody, it's Brandon Williams again. I am here with Linda Kirkpatrick. She is with Family Pattern Matters. They help underserved children and at-risk youth that are not getting the care that they need. They are a nonprofit, and I'm going to turn it over to Linda and let her tell us about what she does. So, Linda, let us know what you do.
Okay, well, Family Patterns Matter was actually founded 13 years ago. And in the beginning, we were, of course, very, very small, and we just worked with a few youth. Now we work with up to 100 youth and their families. Um, and our tagline is changing lives one at a time. And then our next statement is empowering the next generation for a better tomorrow. And I'm kind of going to go read off of our card because it's got the information and I might forget some of it, but our what we believe is because youth matter, that's why family patterns matters. Um,
Absolutely.
and our main thing is our youth in action group. And what we do is we bring our youth together and we aspire each one to navigate the ups and downs in their lives, because we don't know, kids come from all walks of life, and some may be bullied, some may be bulliers, and we try to address that as best we can and tell them, just if you're being bullied, just walk away. If you're not, if you are a bullier, think about what you're doing
Sure.
and who you're hurting, because a lot of times we don't know why kids bully. They may not feel like they're well liked, or somebody may have at one time bullied them, and I don't know why kids bully. I'm trying to figure it out, probably just to make themselves feel better about who they are. um we use a lot of art therapy because we believe that kids can express themselves through art. We do music therapy, and the upcoming summer, now that kids are out of school, we've got them going to um, meet with Tammy Troyer. And I don't know if you know her, but she does teach kids how to build things out of pottery. And we hope in
Oh,
doing
wow.
that, they'll be able to express themselves and you know learn, and when they're doing that, a lot of their feelings will come out, and that's where what we're hoping will happen, and then we can help them work through them. We never tell kids what to do. We
Sure.
want them to talk about it, and then they find a solution on how to manage whatever it is going on in their life. And a lot of kids, and today it's family, their families are working hard to keep a roof over their heads. They're not spending the time they need with their kids, so oftentimes their kids are being left out. Unfortunately, a lot of the times they also join up with the wrong groups and they get into trouble, and so we want to try to prevent that from happening. um, they In doing the art therapy, it increases their coping capabilities. It helps them to understand what is going on, and then it actually reduces their anxiety and their stress.
Sure.
They learn life and social skills.
Yeah.
Today, we have found out they don't have those anymore. Why? Because they're on. That might be my phone that's binging.
No,
Why?
I unplugged my computer. It's gonna die, so let me. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
that
I
is okay.
just
You
kicked my
know,
charger out.
kids are, they're always on their phones, or they're on their laptops, or they're not socializing. So what we have found is our kids need to understand how to socialize again. And they feel uncomfortable. They don't have the friends they used to have, or if they do, it's just always FaceTime. It's never in person. But our main thing is we want to enhance their life experiences. We want them to graduate high school and then either go into a workforce class or technical school or even college. And we help them do that. We have actually, in our program, we have scholarships that we give out. And last year we actually we gave out $1,000 scholarship, and then someone matched that, so the person got $2,000 to start
Wow. Wow.
college.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned the art. I didn't even put the relationship together, but when my ex and I were going through our divorce, I actually had my kids in therapy just so they could cope, and that was one of the things that he did, and I never even put the relationship together. He had them draw pictures of their
Yeah.
feelings and everything. So yeah, I can definitely relate. That is very helpful because they were able to express themselves in a manner in which it was indirect, but it was a direct relationship to how they were feeling. And I can't remember exactly what he did. He did something with a ship and like who was the captain and who was the first mate and et cetera, et cetera. There was a whole storyline behind that, but it was a platform for them to be able to at
Yeah.
least express how they were feeling at the time. And he was great. That was in Tennessee. That was years ago. But yeah, I can definitely appreciate that and relate to what you guys are doing. That's phenomenal.
Well, and we actually have a partnership with Pathways, and someone from Pathways comes over to our groups, and the kids do art with them, and just
Oh,
like you
wow.
said, they can express their feelings, and
Mhm.
then they can look at it and they can see what they're feeling. The other thing is music therapy is incredible. We have, we work with them with guitars and things like that because it's just so important that they can get it out. And then the other thing we do is journaling. They
Mhm.
have journals, and if they're having a bad day, they can write it down. We tell them we don't want to read it, but if you want to share it with us, okay. But if not, then you can go back and you can say, wow, this happened to me and this is how I overcame it. So
Yeah.
we try to, get all of that in there while expressing to them friendships and doing well in school is really important.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I do feel like that is a thing that we're missing, especially in today's society with all the social media, as you hit on.
Oh yeah.
I think we're missing that personal touch. And I know I always tell my kids, put the phone down. Yeah, it's time to,
Yeah,
especially at dinner. I know people think that's just ridiculous, but dinner is so important.
it
Sit
is.
down, have dinner, be engaged. It's only half an hour. You can take the time away. Don't have your phone in front of you. It's or breakfast or lunch or whatever the case may be. But have a meal.
Hmm.
Have a meal together because
Yeah,
those
yeah,
meals are important. And I actually read a study years ago about and they were just talking about meals, but they specifically said dinner and how important that period of time just to get engaged
yeah,
in the difference in the scholastic performance and how well they did in sports and how more well-rounded they were and more mature they became just by having those adult conversations. Because as you're sitting there in the family, you're not talking about the kid stuff. You are talking to them as they're an adult and you're making them feel included in your life. And I feel that is very important personally. I had that as a child.
yeah.
Still screwed up a lot, but still.
Well, the thing of it is we don't have family meals.
Oh,
I remember growing up like you, that Sunday afternoon was a big family meal and we all talked. And then in the evening, it was, how did your day go? What happened today? That just doesn't happen. People
no,
don't,
it doesn't.
kids run in, they grab a sandwich, they may not even, they take off or get on their phone and and I know my children that I have now, there's no phones at the table,
Yeah.
those phones here, you put them over there, you give them to me. And even at our Family Patterns Matter youth meetings, we tell them no phones. And if someone has a phone, I'll go over and I'll say, you know what, give me your phone and you can have it when the meeting's over.
No,
Because they'll be looking at, they won't even know what's going on because they're down there
yeah.
messing with their phone. So we try to let them know, yeah, phones have a purpose, but there's a purpose not to have them as well.
Yeah. Yeah. In my industry, we're unfortunately I'm a 7 day a week worker, but I do
Uh-huh.
try to set Sundays aside and not work on Sundays. It doesn't always work out that way, unfortunately, but I do try to set Sundays aside. I'll work, all day, every day, 6 days a week. Sundays I try to set aside if something comes up. Unfortunately, in my industry, we have to we have timelines we have to meet. So there are those caveats
Yeah.
that we have to meet. But I do try to set Sunday aside. It's like, okay, today's Sunday. I'm not going to do anything. And it doesn't matter if it's a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Friday, whatever the case may be. But Sunday just happens to be the day. And I don't like to call people. I'm real weird about that. I don't do any of that
Yeah.
stuff on holidays or,
Yeah.
Sundays. I just, there's certain times of the day I'll call people and do my work. And, I try to be respectful of people's time. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. And yeah, the phones have, I fall victim to it myself. I won't lie. I get too carried away on my phone at times, and
Mhm.
it buzzes you because we can do everything on the phone now. You don't
We
even need a
do.
computer. Every single thing can be done. All my work, all my phone calls, all my texts, all my emails, everything's on my phone, and it feels like I'm disconnected at times, but and I try to recognize that in my own self. And I was a lot worse years ago, and I'm a lot better now. And I do appreciate that you guys are doing that because it is
Yeah.
very important to try to stay engaged with your family. And even if you don't have, a connected family, whether it's your friends or, your extended family or your mentors, counselors, whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
I feel like in those moments you should be definitely dialed in.
Right. You're right, right. And a lot of our kids, I just had someone that contacted me, and and her kids are going to be joining our group, and she said one of her kids needs a mentor. And when we have had mentors in the past, and we've told them, if you're going to meet a mentor, that doesn't mean you meet the child, you see them a couple of times, and then you're out of their life, because that's part of what's going on with them. They need someone in their life
Mm.
that they can talk to, and feel safe with, and that can maybe, help them in making decisions. A lot of our kids don't have fathers,
Sure.
and so that's important, especially to the young men that we have in our group. And we just want to connect them with people that can talk to them and listen to them. And if something bad is going to happen, yeah, we're going to report it. If we see that they're going to harm themselves or harm somebody else. That's just an example.
Absolutely.
And they know that. They tell them, everything you tell us is safe unless you're going to harm yourself or someone else. And so they have that understanding. We try to teach them about, suicide as well, because we see it happening all the time. And I just read an article that, there was I think it was a young man that just committed suicide here in Coweta County. And I can't remember when it was, but I just remember hearing about it, and I'm thinking, what in their young lives could be so bad,
Yeah.
you
I just
know?
read something where a 10-year-old kid, because of social media bullying,
Yes.
he killed himself, and I was 10 years old. 10 years
Yeah.
old. Yeah. I've got a cousin that took his own life not too long ago. I don't think it was social media related, but it was like, man, I wish and he'd been weighing on my heart too, and I'd been thinking about him, and it's like, I should have called him.
Yeah.
It was just one of those instances, but I didn't have his contact information. I'd lost contact with him years before, and it
Hmm.
was just like, man, I wish I had have taken that extra step, because not
Hmm.
that it would have made a difference. I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah. And
But to
we
him,
all get so tied up with our lives, and we're all so busy.
yeah,
And what we try to teach our kids too is kindness matters. If you're walking down the road, smile at everybody you pass. Just smile. They may need it, you know.
yeah. That sparks another thought in my head. I was, and I've told this story a lot. Tipping servers is what it's in relationship to. I was at an Applebee's. This was years ago. It was me and my ex and my kids, and the server was terrible. And I was getting really frustrated because we weren't getting, our drinks weren't being brought out. It took forever to take our order, and I wasn't really paying attention. I was on my phone. I wasn't engaged in what was going on at all. And she came walking up to the table, and I didn't even see it. My ex, when she walked away, she said she was just crying. And I looked
Oh,
over, and she was talking with her manager, and she was just bawling. I mean, just tears flowing. And at that moment, it just kind of hit me. I was like, I don't know what's going on in this woman's life. Now, she may be having a bad day at work, she may be getting fired, or she may have had a loss in her life, or I
Mhm.
have no idea. And at that moment, I realized, it was just one of those dumbfounded instances where I was, you never know what's going on in somebody's life. So I
No,
ended
you
up
don't.
tipping her exceptionally well. Service was terrible. And from that point on, I always tip. I'm an over tipper now. I always tip because even though they may be giving you bad service, you don't know what's going on in their life. Uh,
Absolutely.
I do not tip at Dairy Queen and all those places
Me neither.
where they fill up the code and they hand it to you and they're like, "Do you want to give a tip?" No. But if you're serving me at a table and you're making $2.14 an hour, yeah, I'll give you a good tip.
Yeah,
Try to make a habit of that.
yeah.
So yeah, I
We're
do
we're
appreciate
good. We're good tippers. My husband is a good tipper too. He says, and I said, I'm glad because my mother used to be a waitress
mine too.
and she, but they made more in California, but what
Yeah,
the measly little wage they make here. But I said, you know what? They're working
yeah,
and they're trying to support their family. We're
exactly.
here eating, give them a good tip. And my husband is a really good tipper. So I know, and they'll say, like yesterday we were eating out and he gave her a really good tip and he said, just keep the change. And it was, I mean, the smile on her face, and
Yeah,
we were just in a sandwich shop. and so it does make a difference. And like you said, you don't know what's going on in somebody's life.
right. Yeah.
So
Well, Linda, do you have anything else for us today?
well, you know what? We just, I do want to put this in there. We do support grandparents raising grandchildren.
Oh,
And that's another little sideline of what we do. And there are a lot of those out there right now. And it may be they're on a fixed income, a real fixed income. So we don't give money and we don't do a lot of that, but we help them if their kids need something. We try to get that for them and that sort of thing, or just talk to them. And when the group gets together, they find that all of them have the same concerns, and being able to talk about it with other grandparents, they figure out ways to handle things that are going on because
uh,
they really don't want to be parents. They want to be grandparents, but now they're put in this position. But that's basically it. We just want to support these families and support these kids and help them be the best that they can be.
no, that's fantastic. I do appreciate what you guys are doing, and it's phenomenal. And if anybody out there wants to be a mentor, Linda, what's your contact information that you'd like for people to reach out?
The email is family patterns matter. It's patterns with an S, family patterns matter at gmail.com. Or they can go to our website, and on our website, there's a place where they can fill out an application. They do have to have a criminal background check because they're working with kids.
Sure.
And we have even said, I think some of the sheriff's department it's free, but some of them I think they cost us $10 or $15, and we will reimburse that $10 or $15 because we just want you, if you want to work with our kids and be a mentor to them and get to know them, but you're on a fixed income. We want to help you be able to do that as well. So, that's mainly it. Tutors, we need tutors as well. So if any way anyone wants to just come and help, or they can just be part of us and be part of our fundraising events and what we're doing and help us with our programs.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. Okay, is there a phone number or anything, a website
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
want?
the website is familypatternsmatter.org. And
Okay.
the phone number is my personal phone, and that's okay. 404-944-8024.
Okay, fantastic. I'll have all that information in the post as well, as I
Okay.
usually do. And if anybody has any questions, contact Linda. Don't contact me because I don't know the answers. She'll be more than happy. If you need a connection, I'll be more than happy to connect you as well. So Linda, I do appreciate your time. There again, this is a nonprofit. This is Family Patterns Matter. I always want to say it backwards.
Well,
Um,
everybody does, so it's okay.
Oh, they're doing great work. I know I've met with Linda many times at our networking events, and yeah, they got a great thing going on. So if you have any desire to help with fundraising or mentorship or tutor, yeah, definitely reach out to me or her, and we'll get you set up. Appreciate you coming on, and I hope you have a great day, Linda.
You as well. Bye.
See ya.